Okay, so this is a Kenwood TS130S, so 100 watt version. Turn the volume down. 100 watt version of the, it's upside down at the moment, but we were just giving this a check over. What we tend to do with these, just as a bit of a telltale of what happens, pretty much this PLL area here is synonymous with connector issues, etc. And this has been sitting around for a very long time. I've got the, hang on, I'll show you. So this is the original Kenwood box that it came in, and we've got the original manuals, etc. So this is really quite a find. And the manual that comes with it, which always was handy, comes with the original MC10 microphone too, which is good. I can see now this radio hasn't got what I would call too many marks on it, but regardless, we spray the band switch, we spray every connector throughout. This has got every filter fitted as well. Sort of debating what to do with this one, because we've got a very nice one in our collection, so we don't really need two, but we'll see what happens. I'm not sure. I can't remember whether the other one had all the filters, but I've got filters here in stock anyway if I needed to fit. So this one may come up for sale. I don't know yet, but if it does, you'll see it come up. Anyway, TS130. Let me just put the cover back on it, because I'm finished doing what I've needed to do, and let's just have a little bit of a look. But as you can see, IF board, etc., filters through here, PLL board. Unfortunately, I've already put the other cover on, but what you'd see on the other side is through this side here, there's a band switching stack of wafers, and you spray those wafers with our good old trusty Deoxit D5. And I tell you what, 98% of troubles that I've ever seen are either in these PWL connectors on the board. You'll find you'll get a contact that's giving you trouble there, or it'll be on those wafers if it's been sitting around a heck of a long time. Let's put it back together. Funny, they always look better when they're at the right side up. Okay, so Kenwood TS130S, as people know, the V version was your 30 watt version. This was the 100 watt version, and was quite good. Hang about. Now we suddenly cut the video for a second there, and I just wanted to pull the top. I might have been seeing things, but don't laugh at this. I thought I saw just a very faint whisper of smoke. I'm serious. I really did. And I'll have to go back and check the video just to see. I've just had a look in here, and we've just made sure that we're all dry. When we sometimes what will happen is when you deoxit, sometimes you'll get a little bit of a conductivity with your deoxit. So whilst I've got this all powered back up and there doesn't seem to be smoke pouring out of it, and I may be going insane, the trick is to quickly turn it off, get the cover back off, check your work, and that's sort of pretty much. But you know what, I thought since we've got this off, now I can show you what happens with the this band selector here. Now, all these wafers on the back here, they all need Deoxit D5. So you basically, I won't go in there and spray them again, but basically with your can of Deoxit, you're just going spray, 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 and you're turning your band switch around and around and around. Just, make sure the contacts are all okay, because quite often after they've been sitting around a very long time, can't wait to check this video, by the way. I am sure I saw something, just a little whiff of something, but I could be going insane. It could have been coming off my iron. I've got a desoldering tool very close by. But once again, when you get a radio and there's any question at all, the sooner you can get to that puff of smoke and find out exactly. I mean, it's a great indicator. My old service manager used to tell me that, it's just the smoke's already in the components. It's just the component, the way of telling you it's faulty is it lets the smoke out. And I used to sit there thinking, Noel Bernstein, my service manager, love him, but he definitely wanted to find out how far he could take a joke. Anyway, great service manager. Not to mention David Green, by the way, who is just one of my favourite people in life, who was my service manager after Noel Bernstein went back to New Zealand. So there you go, bit of history. Okay, so we don't have any smoke pouring out of this thing, and everything looks fine. Once again, all these connectors here, every one of them, we've cleaned them, deoxidated them, make sure that they're 100%. We actually pull this board out, and there's a board underneath this, so to do that, 1, 2, and 3, 4, sorry, there's a couple of screws in there, and that will just pivot up and you can get to those other connectors. So the TS120s are fairly easy. Looks like the only thing that's ever been done with this bit of heat shrink that's been done to replace a light for here. But apart from that, it's a very untouched radio from the look of it. Okay, let's put the cover back on and see if smoke comes out again. Yeah, jeez. Anyway, I'll be going back to the 2-minute mark to have a look. I think I was wrong, but I will admit, sometimes if you get a little bit heavy-handed with the deoxit, you'll get a little bit of a it'll almost give you a bit of a how can I explain this? It's like a fuse link that just suddenly, you know, if you've got a bit of a build up there, and maybe it's that and a bit of dust and a bit of stuff, and you can get a little whiff of smoke that can happen. Obviously, if the smoke continues, start looking around. Generally, it'll be over here, one of these resistors, one of these caps, etc. But these look perfect. They just look so good. It's not funny. So I think we're good to go. All right. Well, I'll put the cover back on, which I've only done twice now. But anyway, interesting to show you just how the band switching works. Obviously the VFO module through here with the LED readout over here. Very easy to pull out, by the way, these LEDs. 2 screws, bang, that whole module comes out. The 120 is one of the easiest radios, and the 130, sorry, both of them, very similar, are both very easy to pull down and sort out. The PA stage in the back here, a little bit sort of harder because you get a little bit tighter when you're pulling out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, says 8 odd screws from memory. So a little bit harder to get to that because you've sometimes got to disconnect, take the whole module out, repair it, then put it back in to test. So, you know, not all as easy as this here where it's so accessible. Righto, back together again and no smoke coming out of it yet. Go back to about 2 minutes. 2 minutes 20, I think. I'll have to check that, but we'll see. I've got a lot of light coming down here too, and I'm thinking I'll turn this fella off over here, and I might have had something coming off one of my irons because there's not a chance that I can see too much happening here. But anyway, all good. Okay, so Kenwood TS130S. Have a listen. Has the narrow filter. Love it. CW filters fitted to it. Now I think the CW just stays standard, does it? Oh no, sorry. Narrow and wide does work. So, okay, yep. Just double check me on that. Not a big CW man, so I could be 100% wrong there, but pretty sure that's how they bring the CW filter in, still on the narrow wide. Now let's have a look here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, hello. Okay, so this thing's got plenty of power coming out of it. It's got drive plus, and I'm running the mic gain. I reckon we could actually back that mic gain off a bit. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yep. So I'm running the mic gain about halfway there, and actually that, to be honest, seems like it's probably a nice spot for it. Let's just have a bit of a look at the receiver. To do that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change a couple of things on my, and then we'll go there. Alright, so definitely got plenty of signal coming through. Let me just turn some things down here. Right, now we're just listening to the radio. Oops. Going down. That's at 0.5 of a microvolt, which I'm pretty impressed. I can still hear that. 0.162, I can still hear it. Starting to get a bit sort of, you know, minus 122 dBm, and I reckon we'll lose it at 0.05. So minus 132. If I make a bit of a change here, I can probably drag that minus 125, 0.125 a microvolt. And we're still hearing it in there, but we're definitely extremely noise free. At 0.5, turn that down, at 0.5 a microvolt. So it receives beautifully, which is good. These were a good receiver, no question. They're actually quite good. RIT is there, so basically you can swing the receiver incremental tuning like so. The IF shift there. just narrows it up, etc. If I stop hitting the VFO. Mic gain, carrier gain, AF, RF gain, all very standard. Band switch, we know what that does. Noise blanket, RF attenuator, which with this little bit of signal we're not going to attenuate much there. It does a little bit, but as we went through before, the narrow wide selection, which actually is very handy on this radio. You can use that as a bit of a noise tool at times. It works very well when you're trying to listen to a sideband signal. RIT we went through. Fixed VFO, so you can put fixed frequencies into there. Nobody ever does. ALC and IC meter, so current draw or your ALC drive. Vox manual, probably got the gain. All your Vox controls are up the top here. So if we turn that there, put the delay on a little bit and go anti-Vox about there. And 1, 2. What have I got? Too much anti-Vox, am I? Not enough anti-Vox, that's better. There we go. So there's the microphone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm a long way from it. I'll pick it up. Talking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if I bring that mic gain up, 1, 2, 1, 2, I could probably hello 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or voice, yeah. So the voice activation actually works quite well on that. That's good. Enough of that. But what you do have, sorry, let's just turn that generate function off too while we're doing that. Bit smart. We've also got a processor on these things that works quite effectively. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and I'll take the processor off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can just see how it picks up, and you'll see it better over here. Oh, I'm driving way too hard there. Hang on, way too much. Just take that back a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2. Little flat topping there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably could attenuate that just a tad. Actually, I'm just going to adjust something here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, it's not too bad. So. Nice radio. Look, and this is so clean. It's super clean for its age. I mean, what are these? 1980s box books, and this is why I don't know whether we'll keep this one or not, because it's the complete package with the MC10 mic, and it's how they came. Okay, so I've just popped it on antenna, and I'm on 10 meters now. I was just listening before on 11 meters just to get an indicator as to whether the bands are open. They are. They're extremely open, but whether there's someone on 28490. Let's have a look. Okay, 3 Charlie Mike, who should turn his gain control up a bit here. What antenna am I on? Just let me check to make sure I'm not doing something stupid. That didn't look right. Back in a tick, I just want to check it. Let's have a look. The VK5 station. I've got a little bit of an antenna issue here. I'm getting a bit of fallback on my antenna. VK3 Charlie Mike, go ahead, the VK5 Foxtrot station. Yeah, you're sort of 5 and 0, but very down at the moment. Excuse me, very down. But yeah, I can hear you. But I'm sorry, I've just realised the antenna I'm on is probably not quite tuned for this frequency. It's tuned a bit lower, which is a pity, because the other room I've actually got an antenna to be perfect for this frequency. But certainly coming in, I can hear you, which is great. Go ahead. Yeah, it's dropping down a fair bit. 73s and all the best. Yeah, definitely QSB'd out. Anybody else on 28490, just for a very quick test? We're just doing a quick video of a TS130 Sugar, but the antenna I'm on's not completely perfect. VK3 Charlie Mike listening. Yeah, good stuff. No problem. So thank you very much. Appreciate that too. It'll be up tonight for sure. Go ahead. Just a pity that the QSB, and I am on an antenna that is definitely reflecting a fair bit of power at the moment. The answer to that would be to do something simple. Okay, so what I've done is I've grabbed a Kenwood AT120. Because I know that I'm a little bit off tune. We're on an antenna called an Antron A99, and unfortunately that's tuned for CB. Now I've got a Stereo which I got off Ron, VK3 AHR, that's up at 110 feet in the other room, which I use specifically for 28-490. Of course, we only use this Antron at 30 feet just for testing, you know, the odd radio that comes through. But let's see what it can do when, now watch this meter here, now that we're not getting foldback. Okay, let's just talk about foldback. At the time, our SWR was about 3 to 1. I'm not even gonna try and kid you, and don't do it. Not a good idea. For a quick burst like we did, we'll get away with it, no problems. But once I put this meter in place, this tuner, sorry, in place, I now have an SWR, as you'll see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 1 to 1. And as you'll see now, we're getting a lot more current draw. Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. VK3 Charlie Mike now with an antenna that's tuned. My apologies, VK3 Charlie Mike. I wonder if anybody's still able to copy me. I've just put a little AT120 tuner in place on this TS130S. And of course, now the band drops out on us. VK3 Charlie Mike, listening 28-490. For anybody that's hearing us, please feel free to say g'day. Oh boy, band conditions. You know what? I don't even think it's band conditions. I think it's the number of people on the band. And I really appreciate the VK5 that came up, because sometimes that's the problem. People have a bit of a shot at me, you know. The other day I called a CB. Look, you know what, we all got to come from somewhere. I did come from CB. I'm not even going to try and... Oh, geez. Hang on. I just saw our problem. I'd been over on CW. I came over the wrong sideband. VK3 Charlie Mike. VK3 Charlie Mike now on an antenna that's tuning a bit better. Well, I'm using a tuner to do it. Same antenna. VK3 Charlie Mike. Wonder if anybody's hearing us on the other side.
Yeah, hey, Brendan. G'day, Brendan. It's Con, VK78CK.
VK7 HTJ, I think it was. VK3 Charlie Mike. Just getting you on video here, coming through really well. Just using an old Kenwood TS130S. We thought we'd do a bit of a video on. Go ahead.
Yeah, VK3 Charlie Mike. Yeah, okay, Brendan. It's Con, Charlie Oscar November. Location Devonport, Tassie. Now you're about a signal 7, so you're romping in here, over.
Yeah, no, you're doing well. Probably a little bit lower at the moment, but the QSB is in and out. Like 1 minute you could be 5 and 9, next minute 5 and 1. So I'm just happy to hear you. Good to hear you, Con, and oh, thanks for that, mate. Because it's always better when we can actually talk to someone on a radio. It just makes the video a little bit more interesting for sure. So I hope you don't mind. Are you okay if I put you on this video, mate? Go ahead.
Yeah, QSL, yeah, go for it. I think I'm the only one that hasn't been on any of your videos, so that is definitely fine. So go for it. And that Kenwood TS series is sounding superb, and hope you had a good day. And it's very nice to catch you on 10 for a change, Brenton. Over.
Absolutely, Con. Yeah, I think it's normally 40. So, no, that's fantastic. All right, mate. Well, look, I'll say 73s for now, and good to make the contact down to Tassie. And it just tells people that, hey, 10 metres is alive. You know, I've been saying that there's been a lot of activity down on CB and not so much on 10 metres. And I truly believe the band conditions are good. It's just a matter of getting more of us on here. So, mate, keep the faith. Really appreciate you coming up on 10 metres.
Yeah, no problem there, Brendan. VK3 Charlie Mike, VK7 Hotel Charlie Kilo. No problems. Just running 100 watts into a single element quad. 3 bands, 10, 15 and 20. Alright, 73 is good to catch you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Con. All the best, mate. VK3 Charlie Mike, off and clear. Cheers, buddy. Righto. So, and Con's a great guy. I just realised who it was, actually. Sometimes it takes me a few seconds to realise who I'm talking to. Oops, hang on. 73, sorry, who was that? Oh, I just caught the tail end. Okay, 73s, guys. Yeah, I think the QSB's just in and out so much. Go ahead. We'll finish it off there for now. VK7 HCK, VK3 Charlie Mike. Cheers, Con. All right, let me just turn that down a bit. Okay, so this is what happens when you've got an antenna that is tuned. People actually hear you a lot better because you're not folding back so much. Now, keep in mind, a lot of people are running receivers where you might say, you know, if I'm 5 and 6, 5 and 7 to him, let's say, why is he only 5 and 5? Generally because he's running a preamp of some description on a newer model radio. Sometimes it can be really deceiving, and don't get me wrong, sometimes we tweak the meters a little bit on these too, just to sort of bring them up to scratch a bit. At 50 microvolts it looked, you know, pretty close, but certainly, you know, a good test like this. Okay, a bit of a technical situation, that one. I just had to go off camera for a second. Someone called me. Now, if someone doesn't come back with a call sign, unfortunately, we've got to cease transmission, and this is just a bit of a technicality. Now, let's say it could be QSB, but I think I recognise the voice possibly, and that person may be just saying hello, and that's nice, but absolutely. Now, that's somebody else. Oh, hang on. Is that you, Steve? Go ahead. No, I thought it might have been, but not sure. All right, and yeah, so not going to give you a full legal lesson on this video, but yeah, we've got to have a call sign. Anyway, that's how it works. All good. So this is the TS130S in action. It's as you can see, you know, they really did think it through. You know, back in the 80s with their little tuner. I've actually got an AT130 sitting around the place. Now the 130 has the work bands which replicate pretty much what you've got here. So I just grabbed the first tuner that I could see on the shelf over there. I was running over going, where's the tuner? Anyway, all good. All right, well look, it's been great to show you this TS130S. Look, I don't know what's going to happen this one. I think we've got a bit of a duplicate situation, but we'll deal with that a bit later on. I'm just trying to go through and check things and service them, you know, before they possibly either go on the shelf here for display or do go out to somebody that needs one. I'm just having a little flick around. Obviously you can go above the band here a bit. You can get 100 kcs above without having to flick the band switch. Thought I had someone on 500 for a second there, but no. And for those that don't do a lot on 10 meters, 28,490 upper sideband. Now on the 130, SSB assumes the appropriate sideband, so upper sideband. So if this is on 40 meters, this would be lower sideband. So that's upper there, bang, CW there, and etc, etc. All right, been good. Sorry, this went a little bit over time because I chatted away on 10 meters, but certainly good to have such a very, very clean TS130. And you know, once it's got its box over there and everything. It's I think, let me check something. Yes, it does. The genuine Kenwood. Remember these? This is the genuine Kenwood power cord. Quite different from the ICOM and Yaesu power cords. They really were quite colourful. Like I sort of say for every radio these days, the older they get, the more maintenance they're going to need. As good as this radio appears, and everything about it looks so good, and it's so clean and it's so nice, just remember, when you're in the collector game, now and again, you will have to do some form of maintenance. Scary but true. But you know, it's becoming that way. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there was nothing wrong with this really. We just really did all the preventative things to make sure that it stays that way. Anyway, someone just clicking on. Thought someone was going to come up then. Anyway, I could stay on here for a very long time and waste your time. 73s, all the best. That's the Kenwood TS130S with a little AT120 tuner, and all this operation's just been on a little 10-11 meter vertical. This one's tuned to 11, but we've had to tune it to 10 meters. 73s, thanks for having a look at this. Please subscribe, hit the bell, all that sort of stuff. Thanks for all the questions and bits and pieces we're getting, and a lot of emails too, which I'll try to get back to those as fast as I can. But really, thanks for your comments. Really appreciate it. 73s.